Welcome to Fatover40. My name's Miles, and in this episode we're going to look at how you make homemade protein balls. Now, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. There's a new film every single Friday, and if you like what you hear, then please hit that thumbs up button. But more importantly, comment down below. I really enjoy reading your comments, and it just lets me know that someone's actually watching. Now, homemade protein balls. Now, they've become really popular on the high street lately. You can buy lots of different brands in your supermarkets these days, but let me tell you, they're pretty expensive to buy. Now, I've looked at comparing two high street brands. So there's a Bounce protein ball and a Protein Works Nutty, and I've sort of weighed those up. Now, they cost about £2 each, and they're about a 40-gram portion within that. Yeah, so that's what we're working with. Now, I've looked at the macros, and I've made some comparison with those, and after I go through the macros, then we're going to pop over to the kitchen. I'm going to show you how easy it is to actually make your own at home. So let's look at the pricing. So I said £2 per portion for your high street protein balls. Now, I've worked out I spent £32 on all of the ingredients, but you know, that allowed me to make 1.5 kilos worth of protein balls, yeah? So when I've divided it up with a 40 gram portion, that means that these protein balls that I've made at home are only costing me 86 pence, yeah? So that's well under half the price of your high street protein balls. So that's one good reason to how many times am I going to say balls within this, yeah? So that's one good reason to get your hands on your balls and start making them at home. The second reason, I suppose, is that you know exactly what's going into them. There's no hidden extras that are being thrown in there. And you can have some fun with making up your own flavours and your own recipes. Because in all of this, if you take sort of the main ingredients being sort of nuts and dates and fruit, you can mix it up and put whatever you want in there. So let's have a look at the macros. Now, per 100 grams, the homemade ball, it had 320 calories in it. The the Protein Works Nutty one, that had 501 calories per 100 grams, and the Bounce ball had 422 calories per 100 grams. In terms of the fat, the homemade one had 17, the Nutty 32, and the Bounce had 17 as well. Saturated fat 4.6, 9.2, 4.9. Carbs, homemade 30.5, the Nutty 30.6, and the Bounce ball 41. Of those carbs, how much was sugar? Well, 24.1, 20.6, and 22. Now, protein, yeah? They're known as protein balls, and this is where the homemade one sort of let us down a little bit. There was only 11 grams of protein per 100 grams of portion versus 21.2 and 23 from the Bounce ball. So I guess I hadn't really looked at the macros on this level until I came to this video, but I guess what I've got to do maybe is look at a different kind of nut that I use that's maybe higher in protein, or maybe I need to look at adding more protein powder to get some extra protein in there to sort of build it up. But it was a really good exercise, and I'm glad I've done it. So how easy is it to make your own protein balls at home? There we are, I said it again, balls. Well, let's pop over to the kitchen and I'll show you how easy it is to make them at home. So, we're here in the kitchen and we're about to make our homemade protein balls. First of all, I'll run you through the ingredients, but don't forget in the comment section down below will be a full list, so you don't have to sort of pay too much attention now. Yeah, let's have a look at exactly what we need. So in terms of bits of kit, you need a food processor. Any food processor will do, as long as it sort of chops things up. And in terms of the ingredients, these are medjool dates. They've already been pitted. And in terms of the sort of quantities, I've used a standard cup. And most of this is sort of number of cups. So there's 2 cups worth of dates here. And then let's move through. So there's 1 cup of sultanas. There's half a cup of mango, that's dried mango. We've got toasted hazelnuts. So these haven't got anything added to them. They've just been toasted, so they'll have a sort of nice roasted flavour. There's a cupful of almonds, and again these are organic almonds, nothing else has been done to them. There's half a cup of goji berries. There's half a cup of golden berries. These have got like a really nice sort of tang to them. And these ones here, I'm gonna have to just grab in the packet to see what they were called. Aronia berries. I'll write that on the screen. Whether I've said it all right, I don't know. I've never seen these things before. They look like little rabbit poos. But I've tasted them and they don't taste like rabbit poos. They got quite a zing to them, to be honest with you, so I'm hoping they'll add something to this. I've got chocolate protein powder, cacao powder, and raw cacao. And for me, this is the thing that really sort of brings these homemade balls to life. So it is the powder, but it's concentrated into a block, and all I've done here is grate it. Yeah, it really is quite bitter. And I've got a couple of shots worth of fresh orange juice. I've found, again, this gives things a little bit of zing and binds it all together. And over here I've got there's different colours because I used a different packet of cacao powder, but this is for us to roll them in. And I've got a bowl which will all become clear what that's for in a second. So let's have a look at what we need to do. Now, the biggest tip I can give you here is not to just chuck it all in the blender and not the blender, the food processor, and mix it all up at once. You do need to try and break some of these bits down before you do that. Yeah. Right. So look, after quite a bit of mixing, you've really got to let it go. After quite a bit of mixing, we're starting to get the consistency that we want. Very well on the camera here. The dates really are quite sticky, and we want to try and break these down as much as we can. So that's why they're going in on their own, and then we're going to basically add everything we've got left back into the mixer and hope that we've got a large enough mixer. You've seen there that it started to go into like a ball, yeah, a ball of dates. So it's really got quite sticky. So it's at this stage that we need to get the rest of the ingredients in. Right, so we've managed to get everything out of the mixing bowl, and if I had kids, I'm sure they would be wanting to lick the bowl or scrape the bowl, as I used to when my mum was baking when I was a kid. But you can see here the consistency of the mix. It's sort of quite fine, it's extremely sticky, yeah, and look, it's pliable. This is going to allow us to get ourselves really messy and turn it into our balls. Now you need to get yourself a nice big sort of tray to roll your balls around in. There's loads of ball puns. Look, if you've made it to this stage in the video, if you've made it this far, why don't you leave us a funny little hashtag down below. It must be ball related, so you know, hashtag your hands on my balls, or hashtag my balls in your... No, so just do me a funny ball hashtag to prove that you've watched the video to this stage, yeah? Okay, so it all depends on how big you like your balls, but let's just go over here and have a look at the scales. So the portion in the shop was what was it, 40 grams. You know, I don't think you want your protein balls any bigger than that. That's 34, yeah. So if I was to go to 40, that's 45. That's the same as a bounce ball, yeah. I think that's a little bit too big. It's 45. So I personally like them about that sort of size, and that's 31. Yep.
let's get the ball on the roll, right? So you've got to use 2 hands now to rub them together, and then you produce a nice little perfect ball like that. And then just pull up another bit, get it into a rough shape before you stick it into the cacao, and roll it around. I'm going to pop that one on the scale. Oh, 30. There we are. So sort of pinch yourself a nice sort of portion, roll them around in the cacao and back into your hands. This is definitely a nice sort of messy job. Okay, that one's 30 as well. Wow, I'm getting good at this portion control thing. Well, this one feels a little bit lighter. So get a rough shape. I mean, you don't need to roll them around in this cacao. I just like that because it leaves a nice sort of taste. But you can press some ground nuts into them if you want. You could roll them in, I don't know, so cacao nib, or pretty much anything that your little heart desires. So look, you get them into a roughly a round ball, and then roll them in the cacao again, and then squish them together. All I'm doing is sort of creating like a little cup and rubbing my hands together, and that's producing a ball-like shape. So I'm going to get on with doing the rest of them, and as if by magic there'll be a full plate of balls. So there we go. I finished playing with my balls. I managed to get 50 portions. So at that sort of 30 gram size, I managed to get 50 portions out of my mix. So you'll see on the piece I just did before that I said that the average cost of each of these balls was about 80 odd p. I've worked it out now that the average cost is 64p. Yeah. For all of the 50 of them. So you can see I've just stuck them into a Tupperware. They'll go into the fridge and they will last for a good couple of weeks. Yep.
So there we go. How easy was that? It is really that straightforward. All you need is a good food mixer, food processor, and you just gotta whiz it all up, and then get yourself a little bit messy by rolling them into balls. And look, you don't have to roll them into balls. You can roll them into whatever shape that you please. Now, all of the recipe and all of the details will be listed in the description down below, so you can come back at your leisure and look at what you've got to buy to sort them out. But I highly recommend that you sort of think about what your favourite foods are and just whiz them up and get it in there. You know, what's the worst that could happen? Well, they could taste disgusting, I suppose. But look, do some experimenting and have some fun. Also, one of the good tips is to try and find that whole hard cacao, the raw cacao. You can buy it in the sort of the powder form, that's fine, but see if you can find the hardened sort of bar of cacao and grate that up. It does make a difference to the sort of chocolatey taste that you get. You could also roll your balls in nuts if you so wish. So there we go. That is homemade protein balls. Now, I'm part of the biggest Get Healthy collaboration on YouTube at the moment. There's 11 of us weight loss YouTubers, and we've all got together from all corners of the earth, and we've devised a series of 11 videos where there's 11 different questions, and we've all answered them in turn. And to make life easier for you, you can just watch one video and find out what all of our answers are to each of the individual questions. So it's been a lot of fun. There is a link down below to the playlist. We've even made it easy for you to check it out. So please get involved and click that playlist and watch the videos. They really are a good watch. You can also click on this button here. And if you haven't already seen this video here, then check that one out as well. There's so much content on YouTube. And if you've not yet subscribed, hit that subscription button there. And if you make one change this week, get making your own protein balls so you don't die fat.